Hi, I'm Dave Gardy here live on the floor of the National Association of Broadcasters 2011 for the Salute the Troops webcast. And we're here live at booth C, 11149, and I'm with Al Renteria. Al, thanks for joining us.
Dave, it's always great to be here with you.
Al's from the Southwestern Veterans Business Resource Center, which is an all-volunteer, nonprofit national organization that has really had some recent acclaim lately. Tell us about the organization.
Well, we've been founded since May of 2008 in honor of Memorial Day. We have an incredible support system. As a matter of fact, General Dunford, Assistant Commodore of the Marine Corps, went out and expressed his greetings to everybody. So if you go to the website, you get to hear his heartfelt service concerns, his gratitude to all the volunteers, and most importantly to NAB. And Platinum Interchange, who houses all our volunteers, and that makes a big difference.
And he's the Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps. Let's just explain a little bit what we'll be doing here over the next 4 days, from 11 o'clock till later in the afternoon each day, live from the floor of NAB. We have our usvets.tv internet TV channel audience live online around the world, veterans and troops. And thanks to Al's dissemination of the message out, people for his organization, but there are other veterans organizations, and we'll be talking about them. Operation Interdependence, ThanksUSA.org, and the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund, all of which we're working to try to get some exposure for today from this webcast. And in addition to that, also cover the technology we're using to actually bring this webcast happen. And that technology is being provided by a lot of our sponsors. First of all, we want to thank our sponsors, Smart City, which has been overwhelmingly good over the years, as this, our 10th anniversary, the last 9 years, and now our 10th year, have been providing the internet connection here in our booth, a full T1 that allows us to get our signal out. We want to thank Trilithic for supporting us, JVC Pro HD, they're providing the cameras here today. Also, Inmarsat is a sponsor of this event. NewTek, we're using the NewTek TriCaster as we have for many years in this webcast to support the vets. Also, Oculus 3D, we'll be talking to Marty Schindler a little later. And Limelight Networks, we are on their backbone as a content delivery network. We want to thank Limelight Networks and Vidovation. We'll be speaking with Vidovation, another one of the technology providers here at NAB, for this huge show of over 100,000 people from Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Las Vegas Convention Center. It's really been an exciting time in the last year for your organization as you've grown, and Al is the one who you'll see was able to arrange for the Deputy Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Dunford, to be able to speak with us at the Pentagon last Friday, and we'll have that right afterwards. But tell us what it means for a veteran to have outreach from groups like you, and Thanks USA, and the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund.
Well, the real interest here is collaboration. There are so many great groups out there, and thanks to TV Worldwide, we've been able to fuse them together. Combine the effort. Today's an example. You got 4 groups, 4 organizations, and they all do different things. Thanks USA raises great funds for scholarships. For those that don't normally enjoy that, Operation Independence sends a piece at home and a note overseas, $50,000 every month, all volunteer. And naturally, the Southwest Veterans Business Resource Center, and we pick up where they leave off. As the General so clearly defined yesterday, is the job market is a struggle for everybody, just not the veterans. But the Small Business Administration is mandated to set aside 23% of all federal procured contracts to small businesses. In 2009, they were 1.1% short of that. That equals $6 billion in federal contracting. So our effort today is to combine the communities and veterans to team up strategically and say, how can we together get those large contracts? And it's everybody's contribution, Dave, as you know, that contributes to that. No one can do this alone. Everybody has to take a part because it's the economy that's our focus.
Now, you have a special organization. You have a national presence, first of all. Like, for instance, you got an office in Vermont. You got several offices in California. What do you do at those offices?
We knew this. We knew that there's a population of 300 million Americans out there. Only 23 million veterans. We're pepper sprayed all over the country when we get back. Our concern is how much is the civilian population aware of our veterans? 23 million on average, we're worth $10,000 a year to bring an economy into that community. Only 10% of that population claim those benefits. So what we do at those locations is increase awareness to better educate the American people on how to understand the veterans' culture. And in turn, California alone has 2.1 million veterans. 10% apply for their claims. In 2009, California invested $2.6 million to reach out to these veterans and generated $196 million in benefits to the state of California. That changes the economy, Dave. That's what we do.
And it's important to understand that there are business set-aside contracts, as Al mentioned, several types of veteran-owned business, service-disabled veteran-owned business contracts, and we've got to get the word out to a lot of these business owners that these contract set-asides are available in Washington, and start talking more about contract awards to veterans and not about budget battles in Washington that are causing problems for a lot of veterans when they're sitting there and they don't even know if the government's going to shut down and they're not even going to get paid. Was that a big point of consternation in the veterans community and the troops?
Well, yes. The veterans, as efficient and effective as they may be, they're coming into a new culture environment. While the civilian business owners have been in that swamp of battles all these years. So what we're trying to express is a veteran brings something to the table. They got a 3% set aside, probably achieved 1.1 since 1999. That's an 80%, 60% efficiency. The challenge is we need to educate the veteran how to be more business savvy, become the best strategic partner with a civilian person. So it's a collaboration of those two efforts. And if anybody has a leverage into the contract, and it's your veteran-owned business. So we're here to help refine that, seek with our civilian business owners larger contracts, and create jobs. The Job Act of 2010 is out there to say the backbone of this country is your small business.
And few people know that there's this 3% set-aside contract for veteran-owned businesses and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses, 3% of every federal agency. None of those thresholds are ever made. Now, sometimes the agency will say they can't find qualified companies. I think part of the job you have and we have is to try to get the word out that there are qualified service-disabled veteran-owned companies out there. We're proud to be a veteran-owned company ourselves. Also,
absolutely,
and get the word out that these contracts are available to help the veterans community. Well, thank you again for joining us. Now, if people want to find out more about Southwestern Veterans Business Resource Center, where should they go, Al?
Well, we created the long version of a website. It's called wherecommunitiesserveveterans.org.
That's wherecommunitiesserveveterans.org, and that's your home site for the Southwestern Veterans Business Resource Center.
Correct.
And you also are known as SWVBRC.
Correct.
That's good. Got to get all your names out there. And then what we're going to do now is we'd like to go to the, if we can, I'll look at our production crew here, roll in of the General. I'm going to let you just give us an overview of your relationship with the General and the sits in common on the Marine Corps and go from there.
Well, Marines is a small community of family members, and we go back a decade or so, and when the war spun out and I created Operation Independence, he was the commander for 5th Marine Regiment, Chesty Puller's regiment. And he had a battalion deployed coming home, and when the war broke out in 2001, he turned that around. So we supported his battalion on the first effort with Operation Independence. And General Dunford, recently promoted to Assistant Commandant Marine Corps, has extended himself to say, how can he help us get the word out? And the way he can do that is by expressing his gratitude to you, the American people, the volunteers. Whether you volunteer with the Southwest or Thanks USA, OI, all of you deserve that gratitude. And I thank General Dunford for his gracious words.